Hi, I'm Dennis Larkins. Welcome back to my studio for part 3 of my demonstration of the making of my painting Birdsong. In the first 2 parts, we went through the process of concept and design, drawing, the creation of templates for parts for my 3-dimensional sculpture process that I use for the 3D effect, and now we're going to take a look at the steps of the evolution of the painting. What I did along the way was to create snapshots of moments in that evolution, and we'll take a peek at those, and then the final painting at the end. So, as we saw in the last episode, where I create all of the pieces and parts for the 3-dimensional sculpture, in this image, all the pieces have come together, fully applicated and applied onto the panel and its various surfaces, and the detailed drawing fully restored and everything ready to paint. So in the next image, this represents what I call the color lay-in, which essentially is blocking colors for all of the individual component pieces and parts of the painting to start seeing how they all start working together. And you can see that I've created a basic verdigris for the bronze elements of the sculpture, and a color for the stone monument, and then a bit more work, a bit more detail into the sky and the clouds, and starting the moonlight effect. In this next image, I'm starting to work the tonal qualities of the painting, and doing what I call push and pull, which is essentially to start pushing the painting in a certain direction and then pulling it back, and when it comes to contrast, going darker and bringing it back lighter again. In this next image, we're looking at the painting actually in a little bit different lighting, so it looks lighter, but actually it's just the lighting that makes it look that way. But what we really see is that I've started to do the detailing of the what I call the cartoon, and I like to work in a comic realist style. So this really sets the individual pieces in time and space, and starts defining them in a sculptural or dimensional kind of way. The next image is again that push and pull process that I was talking about, where I go darker in some areas, lighter in other areas, and this begins to enhance the 3-dimensional effect of the painting. The next process, as you can see, is that I'm pulling out the lights of the painting against the dark aspects, and it further enhances the 3D effect. And then finally, once I've created it spatially and dimensionally as I like it, then here's an example of a process called glazing, where I do a final color over certain elements of the painting, and it begins to get its final look, and everything starts working very dimensionally. Here you can also see that I've done quite a bit of work with the moonlight effect and the glow around the Janus sculpture, and another detail is along the horizon line where I added a lighting effect in a storm, so we get a distant look. So that's pretty close to a finished painting, and then in the next sequence I'll show you the actual painting itself, complete and ready to hang on the wall. So here we have the finished painting, fully framed, ready to go on the wall. And I've shown you how we got to where we are, and I thank you again for joining me in my studio for the creation of the painting Birdsong, which will become poster art for the band Moonalice for their release of the song of the same name by the great lyricist Robert Hunter. Thanks.
Hi,
I'm Lester.
and I'm Dylan,
We are
the new Chambers brothers of Full Moon Alice.
Hey!
Hey.
How you doing?
Loving y'all,
Loving you bad, big time.
missing y'all, missing playing live for y'all, and we're here to bring some little, new Chambers greatness for you, and
Right.
here in our home, and rocking and rolling, and
Hey,
we just want to wish everybody a happy Black History Month, and there's a lot of beautiful things to celebrate, and
totally
we just want to celebrate with you.
right.
And we just want to first thank Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger, for having us again. Be a part of the live stream and the performance for today. And we want to thank Patrick for making everything happen. And
Yeah, man.
Patrick is everybody in the Full Moonalice family.
Yeah.
You guys all rock. The whole crew, the whole band. We all love each other. We're a full family. We make this happen.
And we all rock together.
Dig it, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here today to talk about some historical stuff and things that we know, that we think we know anyway, from the past. Especially about some musician friend of ours by the name of Jimmy Reed.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
And yeah, once again, it is February, so it is Black History
Black
Month.
History Month.
And this is a very unknown, forgotten artist that everybody should take a moment out of their time to listen to and enjoy and pick up on his music and appreciate his music. And if also too, I mean, there's a plethora of wonderful Black artists that you should listen to, Black authors,
Absolutely.
Black poets, Black
Everything.
Black bands, and then go deeper into that. Look into Black history as well as things that have happened in from Dad's era of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and some of the other historical civil rights era icons. Look up things that have happened prior to that. Some of the the slave rebellions, the race wars. Look up Harriet Tubman. Some people don't even know who Harriet Tubman is. She was an icon. She's a hero. She's a legend. She saved many lives doing the Underground Railroad, bringing slaves from the South to free land in Northern America. So there's a ton of wonderful history. If y'all want to chime in on some more history, we're always here for you.
Right.
Find us. We'll get you that information and rock and roll with you.
Right.
Because we love celebrating our Blackness. We love celebrating our Black pride. We love sharing that energy and that history with y'all. And I mean, as you can see, we're both gotten some some cool African clothing on. And a little shout out to a company, Dionu. It's an African company. And if you want to buy some cool stuff and support some of our history, go for it. Right on.
Right on.
Right? Why not? Right?
Why not?
So, Daddy-O,
Yes, sir.
what you got to tell me about?
Well,
So how'd you first start hanging out with Jimmy Reed?
well, listen, you know what? That's a misunderstanding, hanging out with Jimmy Reed. I never did hang out with Jimmy Reed.
You were probably too young.
I was too young to hang out with
him.
Jimmy Reed. But
Yeah.
one day I was on my duties, which is at that time I was 15 years old, cutting lawns with a push lawnmower. And I suddenly heard some music coming out a window. And being a music lover, I'm peeping in this man's window. And there he sat, playing his guitar. And he noticed me and said, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name?" I said, "I'm Lester." He goes, "You like music, huh?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I'm Jimmy Reed, and I'm down here. I'm gonna play down here this weekend, and at the Open Theater in downtown Los Angeles. And I wish you were old enough to come." I do too,
Did he have a stutter like that, like a little ramble when he talked?
When he talked,
Yeah.
he did, because he had his spirits with him. So he
Sure.
yeah. Anyway,
Ain't nothing wrong with little spirits.
anyway, he invited me in. I went in, and immediately he offered me to join him in his activities, and I sat there and listened, and forgot about cutting lawns for a moment because I was so into Jimmy Reed. Now, let me just tell you this. I had heard Sonny Terry play the harmonica prior to Jimmy Reed, but I had never heard Jimmy Reed play the harmonica. And I didn't hear Jimmy Reed play the harmonica on the day I met him. He was just going over his set list for that night's performance. Anyway, as we sat there and talked and my time ran out, I sort of noticed things laying around that had something to do with his music, and there was what looked like a rack that would fit around a man's neck and hold a harmonica, and it was his own handmade harmonica rack that he had made out of a clothes hanger.
So most people who think that, like, Bob Dylan or somebody like
Something like
that,
that, yes.
who was the start of the harmonica rack to perform with it,
Right.
don't realize that that was actually created by Jimmy Reed.
It was created by Jimmy Reed, but the professional and the one that people bought, ignoring the fact that Jimmy Reed had brought this idea to focus. He never got a penny for it. I can guarantee you that.
That's a total shame to chime in on you here. Of how so many of, like, the Chess Record, so many of the old school blues artists, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Lil Walter, if you don't know them names, please, Willie Dixon, please research them, because everybody who is everybody, just like Jimmy Reed, sampled or used their music without paying them for it, right? I mean, you want to talk about, like, Led Zeppelin, their whole first album was Willie Dixon and Lil Walter and Buddy Mouse. I'm sorry, not Buddy Mouse. Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, when Jimmy Reed first went to Europe, he brought his whole persona of music with him. And when he left it there. And that's what gave the European musicians such a great American footage already made for them. Because Jimmy Reed had left them his legacy. He had left his whole life there. And all of these musicians that used him, played his music, they didn't respect him enough or care enough about him to say, I would like to do a song now that we heard 20 years ago coming from Jimmy Reed or Willie Dixon or these legendary musicians that are all dead now.
Yeah.
They're all dead. They can't talk to you anymore. They can't play for you anymore. But you can listen to them. VJ Records had Jimmy Reed for the whole duration almost of his entire career. And this man, people didn't realize that he had epilepsies, and they thought he was.
Epilepsy. Yeah.
Okay. And they thought he was an alcoholic. So they would bring him bottles and bottles of alcohol to his shows because they thought that's what got him off, and it started him to drinking. And he liked it, of course. And that's what happened.
Hey, I'll tell you what, when most people, look at blues musicians and immediately assume because they're, getting drunk or inebriating themselves or, getting high and whatever it might be, make excuses on whatever it might be. But in reality, the life of a blues musician, a black person from the 40s, 50s, 60s, of what our experiences, even to this day, what our experiences are stark difference to what a white person in America's experiences are going to be in life. So it's not an excuse, it's just a reality of what is the hardships is of black American life, right? So boom.
Anyway,
hey, you want to do a little music?
Yeah.
Hey, I think we should get everybody running, get everybody up, get them going.
Want me to do that one?
Let's do it.
Hey, let's
do
that.
it. Right now.
This is one of my favorite songs that Jimmy Reed done because it fits, it covers the whole wide world. You got me running.
You got me running.
You got me hiding.
You got me hiding.
Baby, why you wanna let go?
Wait, should I get a shaker or something?
Yeah, get a shaker, and I'll say these few words while you're going to get a shaker.
Wait.
But anyway.
Okay. Hold on.
as you can see, I don't play nothing like Jimmy Reed or Sonny Terry, because during that time that I was sitting there wondering how to do and learning the harmonica, my dad, bless his heart, after I heard Brownie Sonny Terry play, and I said to my dad, I want that, I want that. And we're living in rural Mississippi, and I would imagine at this time a harmonica would cost about 50 cents. That would be probably the value of a Hohner harmonica at this time.
Probably 10 cents.
But anyway, we're going to leave it at 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, my dad somehow or another walked up to me one day and said, is this what you're looking for? Is this what you want? I was so amazed. And we had no money. I don't know how he did this. And I often thank you, Dad. God bless you. Rest in peace forever.
Never got to meet my grandpa, but I feel like he's always here with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
baby.
So when my dad gave me this harmonica, I took off running with it. He stood there going, where you going, boy? I ran down in the woods, and I found my favorite stump that I would go to because I had been born with a blood disease that I didn't know I had, which turned out to be cancer of the blood that I didn't know I had. So when I was in my little years and I would get these delusional feelings and stuff, I would always go to this stump and pray. My mother had taught me this. You need to be in touch with God. God can help you. God's the only one can help you. In Mississippi, at my age, when I was a kid like that, a white doctor was not allowed to.
Not allowed. They wouldn't even help you. They wouldn't.
They
They
wouldn't
wouldn't even.
allow
They wouldn't even do anything for you.
do
What, you kidding me?
anything for you. They didn't even waste the time to laugh at you. They would. It didn't make sense. Anyway.
And the availability of a black doctor, like that's yeah.
Anyway, this is before Jimmy Reed, and I had taught myself to play the harmonica. Well, what I had taught myself was this, which is like. Okay? That's what I taught myself.
Show enough.
And another thing I taught myself with being alone like that was just, which is what I'll get into that later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would go down in the woods to that stump, and it would always, with the prayer that I had learned to say, and ask God to bless me and help me, the music would calm me to the point to where I would wind up waking up and not knowing how long I had been there. I would be asleep. I didn't know if I was having a seizure or what it was, but I would wake up, and then I would pick my harmonica out of my pocket and I would play those two things that I just did. And from that, I have learned all of these other things from the harmonica, which is what I'm going to teach in the Lester Chambers School of Music, which is good for you and good for me.
Dig it.
Because it's going to show people where the rhythm of a harmonica comes and how it can blend in, how it can also be a filler for many, many places. If it's just a in a song, but sampling these things have become very, very.
Let's hear that. Let's do a little rock and rolling.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I talk too much.
It's all good.
It's all good.
We talking, baby.
Yeah,
we
man.
loving life and sharing the vibes,
Yeah,
baby.
man. Anyway, I love you. Peace out. And I'll talk to you more about the Lester Chambers School of Music. Let's wonder what you want to do.
We're going to do a little Got Me Running.
Oh,
We were going to do that a while ago, but we started talking.
okay. See, I'm feeling good.
Right on, baby.
1, 2. I got an intro to this.
You got you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. You got me running.
You got me high. You got me run, hard, hard, run anywhere you want me to roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to go. Ooh, ooh.
I'm going
I'm
up.
going up,
I'm going down.
I'm going down.
I'm going
Up,
up.
down, down, up, any way you want me to roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, why you want me to go?
All right, I'm going to play the harmonica now.
Tell me now.
I'm going in.
Going in.
I'm going out.
I'm going out. I'm going in, out, in, baby, where you want me to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, why you want to let go.
Yeah, now
You got me running, you got me high, you got me hot, you got me run, high, run, anywhere you wanna let it go. Ooh, yeah, 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 oh yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, why you wanna let go?
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to let everybody know, in case you don't know, who Jimmy Reed really is, some of the greatness that this gentleman has done, and some of the artists who have been inspired by him. So the Rolling Stones considered him one of their major influences, one of their first major influences, and their first album included one of his songs, Honest I Do. They covered numerous of his songs when they were touring live, when they were playing, still to this day, and especially in their first go-around, they rehashed a lot of his music into making it their own. The Yardbirds covered I Ain't Got You, and I think a lot of people know that song. And they also covered Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, which were two of Jimmy Reed's, major hits that they recorded on their albums and made their own. And some people to this day might think that those were Yardbird songs, but they're not. They're Jimmy Reed songs. And between Steve Miller and Bob Dylan, They both covered his music numerous times. Steve Miller had probably on almost every single one of their albums a Jimmy Reed song that they turned into their own. And Bob Dylan's latest album that he put out in 2020 was a tribute to Jimmy Reed. And Bright Lights, Big City, I think everybody's heard that song. Covered by John Mayer, covered by Gary Clark Jr., covered by the Grateful Dead, covered by the Yardbirds, covered by Eric Clapton, covered by, everybody that you can imagine. That blues song is iconically ingrained into everybody's brain. Bright lights, big city.
Gone to my baby's head.
Ooh,
Bright lights,
big city. Gone to my baby's head. And most people turned it into bright lights, big city. Gone to my baby's head. They switch around the beat on it, but I mean it's the rhythm, but it's still Jimmy Reed. It's all Jimmy Reed, baby. Van Morrison covered that song, as well as a bunch of other fantastic, amazing Jimmy Reed tunes. And then I think one of his most iconic covers is probably Big Boss Man, which was covered by everybody that you can imagine. Janis Joplin, and of course, you got it, the Grateful Dead. So people who think that Jerry Garcia wrote Big Boss Man, that is a Jimmy Reed song. That's an old school blues song. So when you hear the Grateful Dead and Jerry singing Big Boss Man, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Well, don't you hear me when I talk? That's Jimmy Reed, baby. Okay, so just so you know, it's Jimmy Reed. And I think we got a little treat for y'all. So coming up right now, I'm gonna splice into what we got going on live. A little Jimmy Reed live singing Big Boss Man in Europe. So it's I think in the 60s, and he's with his blues band, and he's playing his fantastic, amazing blues music for a European young crowd who was in awe, blown away by the fact that this rock and roll, this sound.
A lot of bands unified and come together after hearing Jimmy Reed in Europe.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
So we're gonna play a little Jimmy Reed,
Live
Big Boss Man
in England.
Ow!
Hallelujah!
I think it's England. I'm not sure if it's England or Germany.
One or the other.
One or the other.
Europe.
Let's say Europe. There you go. That works because it encompasses all of that. Yeah, right on.
Hey,
It's coming.
Listen up.
It's coming at you right now. Yeah, Big Boss Man.
Not you.
I'm not the Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay, we just being silly. We love y'all.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
Right down to Elvis Presley.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Elvis Presley covered Big Boss Man, and that's obviously probably the version that people think that he.
They didn't say written by Jimmy Reed. They said Elvis Presley. They said, and also the guy that I love unconditionally from Europe. I can't think of his name right now. Ain't that something? There is a place.
Oh, from the Animals. Eric Burden.
Eric Burden.
Yeah, Eric Burden. Yeah. So the Animals said that Jimmy Reed was one of their
most important influences.
Yeah.
And I love Eric Burden. We just good buddies like that.
So the music that inspired you, listen to the artists that inspired them.
One thing we can't understand is why weren't they honest enough to say written by Jimmy Reed? Now we know, and now we know for sure that Jimmy Reed brought America its rhythm, it brought America its love songs, and its rock and roll. Chuck Berry rocked and roll off of Jimmy Reed. But he never said Jimmy Reed wrote this rhythm. He never even thought of that. Chuck Berry did it. You know, I'm giving my props to this man.
Daddy loves Jimmy Reed.
100%. He means more to me musically than anything I can imagine. Because of Jimmy Reed, I did this.
So let's hit you with a little Big Boss Man. Rock and roll. Coming at you right now. Ow.
Big Bob Man, can't you hear me when I call? Big Bob Man, can't you hear me when I call? Well, now you ain't so big, you just talk that all. Got me waking, boss man, waking around the cloud. I want a little rain or water. You won't let Jimmy stop now, oh boss man. I know you heard me when I called. Well, I ain't so big, you just told that all. About man, one gonna treat me right. I wake all in the daytime, rest easy at night, oh boss man. You had to hear me when I called. When I ain't so big, you just told that all. About man, one gonna treat you right. You can wake up in the daytime, rest easy at night, oh boss man. Why didn't you hear me when I called? Well, I ain't so big, you just talk that all.
Wow, that was really awesome, wasn't
It
it?
was, hey man, I hadn't seen that video, and I thought, God, I had an idea in my mind that nobody ever had recorded or made a video of Jimmy Reed. I'm amazed to just see that.
There's a very few amount of
Yeah.
videos of him, and that's probably like the best quality recording of Jimmy Reed that's out. And it's super,
Live
it's
video
yeah,
like that.
and super rare.
And
Um,
and you have to admit, it sounds a lot like the Rolling Stones.
Oh, so okay,
It
the
sounds a
Beatles,
lot
the Rolling
like-
Stones,
yeah.
Bob Dylan.
It sounds
um,
a lot like the playing,
Yes, yes,
instrumentation,
yes.
the way they slowly got into their rhythms.
Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum. And like, ba-dum, like that, ba-dum,
Yeah.
bum, ba-da-dum. Like that's the Grateful Dead. That's Bob Dylan. That's Rolling Stones. That's the
everybody.
Beatles.
It's everybody.
That's
to be
like
honest with
that's the Yardbirds. That's Led Zeppelin. That's like every Eric Clapton. That's every English blues rock artist that came out of the '60s. That's like that's Elvis. Okay, like that slide, that sound
That's
is so iconic that most people don't realize what it is. Right? That's
Well, I guess it's kind of fair to say that Jimmy Reed discovered music and brought it to America and brought it to the world.
dig it.
There you go.
And so, speaking of music, what you
Yeah.
got? What projects do you have coming up, Daddy?
Well, to be honest with you, I got so much coming up. It's hard to not even mention it, but I'm going to. I have recently started the Lester Chambers School of Music, which is nonprofit, and I'm going to be teaching my style of harmonica the best I can. I'm also going to have along a teaching of vocal, how to breathe, how to pronounce your words properly, the word anybody can understand them, and to know. I know people that have broken their ribs because they didn't breathe properly.
Old school soul singing.
Old school soul singing. And
What about the Jimmy Reed album?
also, I'm in the process. See, Jimmy Reed and me mentally, we are like this. He's my mentor. And I'm going to be doing 20 of Jimmy Reed's favorite songs. We're already up to 11, 12 in pre-production now. But what we did was straightened out all the music. It's correct. My son, Andre Johnson Chambers, is doing such a wonderful job. I don't know how much to thank him or how much I can thank him for his wonderful work. So that's what I'm doing.
And where can people find?
You can find what I'm doing
Yeah.
at LesterChambers.com.
Awesome.
LesterChambers.com. There's a whole list of me.
A whole lot of chambers going on.
Enjoy.
Dig it.
That's all I can say is enjoy.
I-
What are you doing?
Well, I just released a single with my band,
Right.
Midnight Transit.
Okay.
The single
Oh,
is
the one we did together.
it's featuring the legendary Lester Chambers as well as Jason Crosby, who is one of our full Moonalice family brothers. Right.
Right.
The song is called "Stand Up and Fight." It is a anthem, a message, a moment, a movement for all the issues that are happening at the moment with a lot of different issues. It's a lot to talk about. It's very passionate to my heart. We are pushing ourselves into this kind of new wave of like protest rock and roll, and why not, right? That's the way to go.
People hear it.
People hear it, people dig it, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You can find the video "Stand Up and Fight" on YouTube, as well as our Facebook page, as well as on our website, themidnighttransit.com. And on top of that, we are pretty close to finishing a full-length album, which I'm really excited about because it'll be
Right.
my first ever full-length album that I've ever put out as myself and with my band Midnight Transit. And that album is called Born to Rock and Roll. because I've been on stage singing and rock and rolling with this guy since I was, this,
4.5 years old.
Yeah,
Maybe,
probably. I started younger than that, but my big show was when I was 4. So,
Yeah.
you
can see this.
Yeah, you can actually, if you go to Midnight Transit's YouTube page, there is a video of me singing "Dock of the Bay" with Dad when I was 4 years old at Lincoln Center, which was a huge concert and performance.
Stole my show.
I tried to, and
And he loved it.
it was a moment that I realized that this is what I was born to do.
That's the moment, and he haven't stopped.
I haven't stopped.
He have not stopped.
We'll never stop.
And I don't want him to stop.
Pops is 80, I'm 35. We ain't going to ever stop. We're going to keep rocking and rolling with y'all
when
forever.
I can't talk, I stop. And we want you to know that this music of protest music, that you're going to hear a lot of it from a lot of different groups, because they are coming to realize that when you read something, you lay it down and forget it, or you turn it over and put a note on the back of it. This you hear. And if you like the rhythm, the sound of the music, it will become embedded in your mind.
And your ears.
And
let's think about the fact that, hey, OG protest music, time has come today. A new time, a new day, new generation.
Are you ready?
Are you ready, people? The Chambers Brothers were right there, speaking protest, speaking psychedelic change, psychedelic involvement, evolution of the mind. It's like
we wrote songs way back in our beginning that match exactly what's going on today.
And
word-wise, and if you see it visually, it will do the same to you.
I think we should end with a song.
You do?
Yeah, why not?
Listen.
Hey, and
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that after thinking about all of these things and all of these ways that things have happened in the world and the way they're still going to be happening until it gets straightened out, it just leaves people like us completely tore up.
It is quite the system that we have here, especially in America. We are both direct descendants of slavery. Let's hold this up.
More so, I was a slave.
Dad was born in 1940 in Mississippi.
And you are a slave.
He was a sharecropper in Mississippi, was an indentured servant, which is essentially a modern day form of slavery. And I'll tell you what, when people talk about how this was in the past, this is our this is our present, this is our now, and we are never going to stop talking and fighting about this, because y'all need to be on the fight with us, because the time has come, the time is now for the fight, and we are tore up about it, and y'all got to get tore up about it. So we're going to end
get it right,
and we're going to end with a little tore up. Okay,
are you ready?
Ow!
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. I'm tore up over you. I just can't find my way. Oh, yeah, I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. Ooh, tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up over you. I just can't find my way. All right. Tell him, Daddy-O.
And baby, ever since you've been gone, I just moan all day long. And since you went away and left me, I don't want nobody else. I'm tore up over you. I just can't find my way.
Ooh, I'm tore up. Yeah, 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 I'm tore up. Ooh, tore up. Yeah, 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 I'm tore up. Oh, yeah, yeah, tore up over you. I just can't find my way. Ow!
Hallelujah.
We want to thank y'all for turning into the Lester and Dylan Chambers Rock and Roll Review. It's a little story time, little Black History Month, little history lesson for y'all, little education, little beautifulness, and we're going to be here for
Love,
you.
love.
A whole lot of love. We're going to
Yeah.
be here for y'all to share all this greatness with you, and we want to thank Roger, and we love you, Roger, from the bottom of our heart, man. You make the world go round, brother, man. You are the full Moonalice family is full fantastic and greatness, and we're just so proud and honored and humbled and happy
Be a part of.
to be a part of the Moonalice family. Okay,
And God bless you all
full Moonalice, baby, forever.
forever.
Can you dig it?
Hey.
Thanks again, Patrick, for tuning us in and making this all happen, and thank you everybody for listening and rocking and rolling with us, and we love you so much. And
See you next time.
next time, baby. Yeah. Ow.
Hallelujah. Be well.
Go. Ow.
Like bye.
Next time.
Peace out.
Woo.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
Got to, baby. Got to.
All right. We love you.
Go.
Peace.